Hey everyone, I've had a wonderful 24 hours, let me tell you. For starters, I have uploaded my latest episode of Cinematic Excrement to both Blip and YouTube, but YouTube auto-blocked it, so you're gonna have to watch it on Blip if you want to see it at all. The link is down here, I think, because YouTube just redesigned their site. It may still be down here, it may be over here, maybe up here, maybe some little button over in the corner you have to click. It's around here somewhere, find it. And also, I was actually hoping to record this vlog last night, but I ran into a bit of a snag because while I was out running some errands, I got a flat tire on the freeway on my way home. Ran over something pointy and yeah, that was fun. Trying to change a flat tire, put on a compact spare in the dark of night. Thank God it was on the passenger side, so I was mostly out of the way and not in any real danger of getting hit by a car. If it was on the driver's side, I would have been like, fuck it. I will call roadside assistance and I will pay someone else to take that risk for me. Or rather, my insurance company will pay someone else to take that risk for me. But yeah, that was fun. And on top of all that, I'm getting a cold. Fun times! Yeah, but anyway, enough about my whining and bitching. Let's get on to me whining and bitching about a movie. Paranormal Activity 4. If you don't know, I am actually a fan of the Paranormal Activity series. I thought the first one was great. I've been a fan of the found footage genre since the Blair Witch Project, and really liked the first one. I thought the second one was a little better. Basically took everything from the first one and just ramped it up to 11. I think the third one, but not a lot of people agree with me on this one, but I think the third one is the best one of the bunch. Honestly, especially for the ending, even though it does create kind of a plot hole with the previous two movies, but it looked cool. And if you're not a fan of the movies, and a lot of people aren't, there are probably just as many haters as fans, and that's okay. You know, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to say, oh, you just don't get it. You can't see the genius of these films. No, there is no genius at work here. I freely admit that. You are free not to like them. Some of you have made it abundantly clear why you don't like these movies. And that's okay. I am fine with that. I am a fan, however, and I want to tell you that so you understand where I'm coming from when I tell you that Paranormal Activity 4 is a major step backward. This is, I think, I wouldn't say it's a terrible movie, because it's not terrible, but it is definitely the weakest movie of the series, and it is, just as a film that stands on its own, it is an average, low-budget film at best. That's the best thing I can say about it. It has its good moments, but overall, it just did not hit the right notes. And for a long time, I was afraid that eventually, as they keep making these movies, they're going to run out of ideas. That actually has not happened. They did not run out of ideas. They had new ideas, but the execution was awful for those ideas, and I will get into that in a minute. But, and another problem was, you know, the movie is called Paranormal Activity, and if you've seen other reviews, I'm sure other people have said this as well, the activity has kind of died down from the previous movies. Like, there aren't nearly as many scares, and, like, the jump scares are still there, but even the jump scares have taken a setback because there are far more false jump scares. You know, two of the characters are having a FaceTime chat on their MacBooks, and, you know, the girl disappears for a few minutes, and then everyone's just waiting, like, where'd she go? Is something going to happen? Is something going to start moving? Something freaky going on? And then the girl just jumps back into the shot just to say boo to the audience. And that happens a lot. There are far more false jump scares than real ones, and it gets annoying fast. And there's even one involving a cat that just jumps in front of the camera. And I can imagine the voice of the nostalgia critic in my head. Cat! Just, yeah, exactly the same thing. And also the new ideas they have. I mentioned them having a FaceTime chat on their MacBooks. The family that is the focus of this movie apparently has a MacBook in every room of the house. I don't even think the staunchest of Apple fans have that many MacBooks in the house, because who wants to waste that much money just to have a fucking laptop in your kitchen? But yeah, they are all over the goddamn place, and, you know, on paper, not a bad idea. It's another way to introduce found footage using webcams, which they haven't done yet in this series. New idea, okay. They just went way too far with it, and also got very creepy with it. I'll get into that when I get into the plot and the characters. But then the other thing they use is the Microsoft Kinect. There's a lot of product placement in this movie, and I have no idea why. For a movie with such a low budget, and I even looked it up, it's only $5 million that it cost to make this movie. With all the money they've pocketed from the previous 3 films, you'd think they could have put that up themselves. That's not exactly a high investment here. You know, this movie is going to make back its budget hand over fist. It's already made $30 million, which is 600% of its budget. Did we really need to get contributions from Apple and Microsoft? Just, why? But anyway, the way they use the Kinect, they take a handheld camera and turn on the night vision mode and then turn off all the lights, and I have no idea if this works in real life, but it's at least sounds plausible enough that it can work in the movie. Basically, the Kinect projects all these little infrared dots all over the room, which is how it, you know, senses motion. And I don't know if you can do this in real life. If you can, I'm sure someone's done it on YouTube already. But, you know, the idea itself works pretty well. And sure enough, when they try this the first time, they see what looks like a human body walking across the room, but then they turn the lights on and it's not there. Like there was an extra person in the room that the Kinect picked up that the human eye could not see. Woohoo! Very good. It's like, that by itself was actually very clever. But they went too far with it because they leave that goddamn Kinect on 24/7. I don't know anyone who leaves their Xbox on 24/7. I don't even think you can, given how Microsoft products have a tendency to overheat. It's like if I have an extended period of playtime on my Xbox, it starts throwing video artifacts. I'm playing Red Dead Redemption and my horse's hooves suddenly disappear. Like, uh-oh. Time to turn it off. Okay. Yeah, good idea, but they went way too far with it. And another complaint I have, the editing in this movie. Just, there are way too many instances of people getting cut off in mid-sentence. And on the one hand, I understand why, because you want to make this look imperfect. You know, you want it to look like you actually found this footage that was not shot by a professional. Probably should have used some lower quality cameras if that's what you were going for, but oh well. So doing it here and there, that's okay. But when you have a single static shot of one conversation, and you're just clipping out the important bits and pasting those together, there's no goddamn reason to cut off people in mid-sentence there. That does not tell me anything about how this footage was obtained. That just tells me that the person who found this footage and pieced it together should never be anywhere near an editing room again. So, getting into the plot, and I'm not going to get into heavy spoilers right away. I will warn you before I do, because to tell you what's wrong with this movie, I kind of have to. Yeah, but no spoilers yet. No, nothing major, but I will warn you ahead of time. Basically, this movie starts with a few clips of Katie and Hunter, just showing you what happened in the first 2 movies that led up to this moment. And then it flashes a caption that says, Katie and Hunter's whereabouts are still unknown. Are they? Is that really? Because immediately after you say that, you show us Katie and Hunter's whereabouts in the movie. Like, I think that's another editing mistake. I think that line was supposed to go at the end of the movie. I'm just saying. And honestly, at this point, considering how much footage there is of this woman, if the authorities haven't found her yet, they're not trying. They are not fucking trying. There is... This has got to be the most footage of any missing person in the history of ever. Honestly. But anyway, this movie focuses on an entirely new family, once we get that little flashback, in the more or less the present day, minus about a year, which consists of two parents who, I don't know if their names are even mentioned, but it doesn't matter because they're only there to get killed off. And a couple of children. There's the daughter, Alex, played by Catherine Newton, and there's the son, Wyatt, played by, what's his name? Aidan Lovecamp. And we find out later on the son is adopted, which plays into the plot a little bit later. And there's also one more major player, which is played by Matt Shively. His character's name is Ben, but I am going to call him Pervy McCreeperson, because he was hands down the scariest thing about this movie, and I don't think he was intended to be. That's just the way it came across, because this guy, I don't know if he's supposed to be Alex's friend, boyfriend, friend with benefits, stalker, neighbor. I don't know what the hell he was supposed to be, really. They didn't make it very clear, but boy, this was awkward, because he was hitting on Alex throughout this entire movie in the most perverted and uncomfortable way possible. Even going so far as to pull in Edward Cullen and recording some footage from her webcam while she slept, which he claims was totally by accident. It's like, no, my computer just does this automatically. No, it doesn't. It does not do that. That is not how they work. No. You're a creepy pervert. Stop it. And it doesn't help that that actor is like 21 or 20. I think he's 22 now, but it's probably 21 when the film was shot. And the actress who plays Alex is 15 and playing a 15-year-old. I don't know how old his character was supposed to be, but he's early 20s and he looks it, and that was all kinds of hell no. All kinds of hell no. Not a good casting choice, not a good writing choice. Because I could not wait for that guy to get killed off. Yeah, spoiler alert, he gets killed off, but you knew that. Yeah, spoiler, everyone dies! If you've seen any of the previous movies, you know that. You know how it goes. But, yeah, anyway, this new family moves in across the street, which is, as far as they can tell, is just a mother and her son, which they find out later is her adopted son. And sure enough, later on, the mother turns out to be Katie. And the child, whether this is his real name or not, we don't know, but he introduces himself as Robbie, and basically just wanders over to their house one day and just introduces himself and kind of befriends Wyatt. And then the very next day, the mother, something happens to her, and she ends up in the hospital, and this family takes Robbie in. This kid that they've met all of once, and they've never met the mom. Doesn't seem like this would happen. I think the police would be more inclined to say, yeah, we appreciate the offer, but you don't actually know this family, and you've had all of one conversation with the kid, and that's it. I think we're better off just handing him over to CPS, because, better to have the trained professionals look after him than a complete stranger. But, movie logic, it is what it is. And so, I will say that the kid who plays Robbie is really fucking good. He was very good. Throughout the movie, he never quite looks evil, per se, but you can tell he always seems kind of distant, kind of reserved. There's something about this kid that's not quite right. He seems nice enough, he seems smart enough, but something about him is a bit off. He plays it just right, just the right amount of creepiness without going over the top. Very well done. See, there are good child actors out there. And here's one of them. Good acting in a Paranormal Activity movie. Imagine that.